Hey sweet thing, welcome home to day 28 of our advent calendar. Today we are going to be dealing with loud neighbours and traffic noises and all of that good stuff that comes from when you don't actually have a quiet space to record. So we've come this far with all of these elements in place, so please continue to bear with me. What I have to say will hopefully be worth it. So let's begin today. When I say the words, find yourself in a really relaxing posture, what comes to mind? Relaxation isn't going to look the same way every day. Some days you want to sit quietly with a nice upright spine because that invites more oxygen into your body. Some days you just want to curl up small in the corner of an armchair. And some days you might want to starfish on your floor and take up loads of space. So take a moment to think about what a nice, open, relaxed posture might feel like. Shut up. And make your way there. If you need to go and grab some props, then you can put me on pause by all means. I will still be here when you get back. And then we'll continue. So when you're ready, relax your gaze or close your eyes. And we're going to take a nice settling breaths together. Inhaling deeply and fully through nose or mouth, whatever feels good right now. And then opening the mouth and sighing that breath out audibly. Now hopefully you're realizing how good that can feel. So let's take another couple just like that. Big inhale. Loud exhale. Oh, that wind's picking up now. Very exciting. One more thing for me to contend with as far as background noise is concerned, as is what sounds like a plane overhead. One more breath. Nice big one. Let's make this one count. So inhaling deeply. Sigh it out. Good stuff. Now if you don't feel like opening your eyes, sit or lay with them closed. This is your time, so how do you make it count? What do you give yourself that you can take away at the end? Sure, I've got a few thoughts for the day, but if you choose to turn inwards, that is what makes this a truly personal little experience for you. So today I want to continue talking about how we can cultivate our happiness. And so I've got a couple of related ideas that begin with perspective. Now you've probably heard me talk about the importance of perspective on our mood many times, if you're familiar with me and with what I have to share. If not, then welcome. I hope this gives you something to chew on and think about later. Life happens, there's no denying that, and it's not always rainbows and unicorns. So I'm not proposing for a second that we embrace any kind of toxic positivity, which is simply defined as good vibes only, or we only embrace good feelings and everything else we push aside or suppress somehow. Even on our worst days, we don't have to lose sight of the fact that this too will change. The fact that we have the fortitude and the resilience to get through the parts that kind of suck or really suck. It's about understanding that we have this foundation of okayness about us. You know, I've said before, every important thing I've learned I've picked up from memes, and there's one that says quite simply, so far you have survived 100% of your worst days. And it's about taking that to heart. You necessarily don't get through those experiences with any style or grace. It hurts like a bitch when you are navigating the things that you don't want to happen to you, whether that's loss, whether that's the end of relationships you thought were solid and there forever, whether it's the little disappointments of life that just seem like they keep mounting up. You don't have to tell yourself the story of what you've gone through right now. You know what's happened in your life, and you know that you've got to this point right here and now where you are the person you are, largely because you've been shaped by those experiences. We're also shaped by the good things that happen to us and whether we let them touch us or not. Now, Brené Brown, an absolutely fantastic researcher and speaker about, oh God, everything, but you know, at the moment I'm sort of thinking about her work on vulnerability. She said we don't just get to select that we only want to feel the good things. Unfortunately, by being alive to joy and wonder and connection and all those fabulous, lovely things about being human, we also open the door to discomfort and to all those hard emotions. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just feel the good stuff? But unfortunately, we're not wired that way. So know, if you're going through something tough at the moment, that it's actually telling you that your heart is big enough to be able to deal with it. Your heart is full of love and compassion. And you probably show those to other people with alarming regularity, and yet, if you're anything like me, you're not so good at extending those things to yourself. So the way I get around that is it's a work in progress. It's a practice, and everything worth cultivating in our life is not a one and done. You don't get to feel like you've understood something and then it's yours forever. You have the moment of epiphany when the light bulb seems to go on, and then you need to keep practicing in order to make that epiphany something that becomes almost default. So that's where it begins, at least as far as I can see. It begins with our perspective, with actively understanding that no matter what happens to us, we're going to be okay. We're going to be changed, of course, but the heart of who we are, we're going to survive this. The second piece, which I feel is intertwined with perspective, is gratitude, because that is the very practical skill of looking for the good. You can be having the worst day of your life and your sense of gratitude or wonder doesn't have to go away. You can be having a really terrible time and have a moment where the gratitude of that beautiful cup of coffee, or seeing somebody you love smile at you, or the way a shaft of light hits your favourite corner of a room. It doesn't have to be big, but those moments, those glimmers, they remind you that you can find things to hang on to. And you don't need to hold on to them tightly, because yes, this moment will fade, but it will be replaced by another. And being awake and alive to the fact that the world is full of things, tiny, beautiful things, to delight us. It doesn't take away from the pain of what you're experiencing. It just gives us a sense of balance. And it gives us a little incentive to keep going. And once we can see that gratitude is very much self-guided, nobody else can make us be grateful. Sure, they can tell us that gratitude is a very good thing, but they can't force us to notice the lovely little things around us. That's a choice that we make for ourselves. And gratitude, it's kind of like a snowball that becomes an avalanche, you know. It's by noticing the things that we have that are working in our favour, or that are there just for no other reason than to delight us. It opens our eyes to more of the same. You know, noticing how good our coffee tastes might lead us to notice, you know, the cup that we're drinking from, which was a gift from somebody who loves us. We can rejoice in the smell and the taste, and consider the fact that, you know, the fact that we have these senses to perceive the world is also something that we can be grateful for. And as you notice, you might notice that your attention shifts, that your focus broadens, and that without really meaning to, you've increased this sense of okayness. That bad times come and they change us, but they also go again. So I'm not sure whether this little ramble inside my head is going to resonate with you or not. I'm thinking a lot about happiness as I reach the transition point where one year becomes the next, and figuring out what works and what doesn't. Let's end with our nice big hug, because I still maintain that those are important as well. I've talked about the importance of hugging before, so I'm not going to be adding that to our do this for your happiness kind of thing, but just remember that we supposedly, according to research, need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance, and we need 12 hugs a day for growth. Now, on the days where it seems like we're very touch-starved, the idea of 12 hugs seems extravagant and extreme, and it also seems like it's something entirely inaccessible. So remember that anytime you need to be cuddled, you can give it to yourself. And at the moment when we do this thing, that you're not alone in this gesture of affection and care. So let's inhale the arms out wide to either side, look up at the sky, and cross the right arm on top of the left. Give yourself the hug you need, sweet thing. Breathe into it. And then let's take it over to the other side. Inhale and exhale, cross the left arm on top of the right. Unwind, come back to center. I hope today's musings start some of your own. I hope, even if nothing else, the comedy of my hair right now amuses you. Until we are together again, mind how you go.